Hello, so stylists. Welcome to Negho Akhigs Fashion Academy. In today's class, we'll be learning how to cut and sew this trendy play and pattern tear gather gown. If this is what you want to learn, stay till the end for full understanding. These are the materials we'll be needing for the making of this gown: our adire fabric and our jeans fabric. So let's continue. So we are making the upper part of the gown. So the upper part is just the yoke and it is 9 inches in length, but I went ahead to cut this one as 10 inches, half inch to sew the up and half inch to sew the down. It does not require zipper at the back, so we'll be cutting a slit at the back. Either we put a rope or we put a button on it at the back. So the shoulder we are using is 8.5. So I will go ahead and roll it. So the armhole we are using is 9 inches. First of all, we'll take our borderline of half inch. I'll go ahead to measure the 9 inches all through. Then I will roll. Then we take our measurement, which is 3¼ by 4 inches. So I will come down from this part by 0.3. So that 0.3 I will add it to the length of our neck. So I will now have 4.3. So this one is for the front. Then I'll go ahead and mark the back neck, which is 1 inch. And I will come down with that 0.3 too. Then I will connect it to this point, this mark here, this point. So this is the measurement for our front and our back. From our shoulder line, I will come down by 1.5. Then from our chest line, I will go up by 3 inches. Then I will go in by 3/4 inch. Then I will connect this. Then I will take our bust measurement. Then I will add 1 inch ease allowance. So which is 41 inches. So 41 divided by 4 will give us 10¼ So I'll go ahead and mark the 10¼ So for the back, we will go in by ½ inch and connect it together too. While the back shoulder slope is 1 inch. So I'll go ahead and connect our shoulder slope. Connect it to this 0.3. This is for the back. Then this one is for the front. I will go ahead and add our seam allowance. So I'll go ahead and cut it out. So I'm cutting the back first. Okay, I did add our seam allowance. So I'm adding 1 inch as seam allowance. So I will cut it out. So this is it for the back. So I will go ahead and remove the back and cut out the front. So from here, I will come down by 5 inches. Come down by 5 inches. Then I will cut it open. So this will be our back opening where the neck will pass through. I will fold it using 1¼ to cut it. So I'll go ahead and bring this one and cut it out. The length of what I cut out is 7½ inches. So I will go ahead and measure 5 inches and cut it open. So that's it for the back. Then I will go ahead and cut what I will use as the piping. So I will measure 1.5 inches that we use for the piping. We are through with the cutting of the upper part, so it's now for us to cut the down part. So this is what I'll be using for the down parts. I have gone ahead to cut them at 3 steps. So the length we are using for this gown is 48 inches minus 9 will give us 39 inches. So 39 inches divided by 3 will give us 30 inches. So 30 inches, we add 1.5 inch to it, it will give us 14.5 inches. So that is what I use to cut this. So the length we are using is 48 minus the yoke that we are using for this gown, which is 9 inches, is remaining 39 inches. So 39 inches divided by 3 will give us 13 inches. 13 inches plus 1.5 will give us 14.5. So for the length of each, because I cut it into 3 places, the length of each is 14.5. Fourteen and a half, 14.5. So this is the first layer. It's folded into 2. Go ahead and measure the first layer. It is 47.5 inches. 47.5 times 2 will give us 95 inches long. This is for the first layer. Then the second layer will be the jeans fabric. So this one is folded into 4. So I'm going to join it together to form a long fabric. So what I have here is 31 inches. So 31 inches times 4 will give us 124. And the third one is folded into 2. That's 77. So 77 times 2 will give us 154 inches. The do next is to sew a gather stitch on the 3 layers. So in our top, I will go ahead and join the shoulder. I will sew an inseam finishing on the shoulder by placing it like this, wrong side facing wrong side. Then I will sew it 1/4 inch. After joining it with 1/4 inch, I will turn it out like this. Then before sewing it with another 1/4 or 0.3 inches. So I will go ahead and do that. Okay, before then our back, I will place this one on it. I will place it on it this way for the back. So I will place it on it this way and sew it. And so when I'm through, I will show you the far I have gone. Okay, I'm through with the joining. This is the French finishing I was talking about. We don't need to serge it. So I went ahead to sew the side too. With the 1 inch seam allowance, I still did the French finishing. Then the back, I went ahead to sew it. I put a loop on it. So the measurement of the loop that I used, 1 inch length and 2 inches width. That's what I used for it. Then I went ahead to use 1/4 inch to sew it. Then I went ahead to use iron to fold it. I folded it like this. I did it like this. And I fold it backward and use iron to press it out. Then I will take it to the machine and run a stitch along this edge here. Round. So that's it for the back slit. So this is what we'll be using for the piping of the neck. It is 1 3/4 inches. So I will go ahead and measure the neck to know the length of the strap we're going to use for it. So what I have here is 20 inches. So we'll measure the length. So this is above 20 inches, so I'll go ahead and measure and cut 25 inches. So this is what I will be using. So that's it for this. I've gone ahead to sew the gather stitch on it, then I went ahead to drag it too. There are some adjustments I did in the layers. I discovered that it was too full, so I have to reduce it. So what I have now for the first layer is 43 inches. 43 times 2 will give us 86. So it's not 86. That's what I removed from this one. I will go ahead and measure the second one. This is 57 times 2 will give us 114. The third one is the longest, so I will go ahead and join it. So I will look for the center of both and pin it on it. I went ahead to fold it into 2 and into 4, then I mark it. So this part now is not the side. Here is the side, so I went ahead to mark it. So it is all this mark I will place each of them on. So I did the same thing to this one. You can see the mark of this one too. You can see the mark. So that's what I did to get even spreading. So I will do the same thing to the other one. So for the third one, I will go ahead and measure it. And this is 15.5. This is 60 plus 15, that's 75. 60 plus 15, that's 75. 75 plus 75 will give us 150 inches. So I've gone ahead to pin it together, to pin the down one and the middle one together. So this is how it's looking. Then I will do the first one with the second one. So I will bring this one now, right side facing right side, and pin it. So this is the mark, this is the mark. So this is it. So I will place it on the table and start pinning it one after the other. I will do the same thing to the top too. So I will leave half-inch seam allowance that I will use to join it. I want this joining to be at the side. So I will take it to the sewing machine and sew it all through. I'm through with the sewing. So this is how it's looking now. Hope we can see it. So this is how it's looking. So what we need to do now is to pipe our neck. So I will go ahead and sew this part this way. After sewing it, then I will bring the piping, bring it out this way about half-inch. I will use it to fold it like this and sew it round. As you are sewing it, don't stretch the neck and sew it round with 1/4 inch. So when you still get to this part, you cut it too, fold it in, then you finish your sewing. So that's what I will do to this one. So this is the sleeve we are using. So it's now time for us to cut our sleeve. The length of the sleeve I'm using is 24 inches, but I measured 26.5 inches. So I folded it with 2 inches and folded half-inch inside. So 2 inches away from 26.5, it will give us 24.5. Half-inch to sew up, then it will now be left with 24 inches. So you go ahead and measure the sleeve, the length of the sleeve that you require. It can be a 3/4 sleeve, it can be a long sleeve, depending on what you want, the cup of the sleeve. So that's it for the length. So go ahead now and cut the sleeve. So come down by 4.5 inches, including the seam allowance. Then from there I will just bring it, because we are doing pleating on the armhole. So I will go ahead and cut it out. So this is it. Now we spread it open. From the hemline I will measure 7 inches upward. So from this place I will measure 7 inches upward and mark it. So with these 7 inches I mark, I will bring a strap that's something like this, place it on it this way, and sew it. This is where we will use our elastic to pass. So this is the elastic I'm using. This type of elastic is what I'm using. So that's where we will use our elastic to pass. So the measurement of this strap is the width of our sleeve, then the length is 1¾ inches. So I went ahead to fold the 1¾ inches into 2 like this and iron it out like this. Then I brought both together at the middle. So that is how I arrived at this strap. So this is it. I'll go ahead and cut it. For each I will sew it like this. So when I'm through, then I will also sew the end of our sleeve too. I will do the same thing to the second one. Then I will take it to our sewing machine and sew it. So I'm through with the sewing of the placket. So this is it. And I left an opening here where we used to pass it round. So I went ahead to sew the side too. I used 1/2 inch to sew the side, 1/2 inch. Then I folded it down. I sewed the hem of the sleeve. I went ahead to sew it. So I did the same thing to the second one. So for the width of our sleeve, we only talked about the length before. So the width I'm using for this sleeve is 14¼ let me say 14.5. That's what I am using for this sleeve. So I will go ahead and notch the middle of this our sleeve. I will go ahead and cut our elastic. It will not be too tight. 10 inches or 11 inches will just be enough. 11 inches for our elastic. So I will go ahead and measure this one that we have. Okay, what we have here is 11¼ So I'll go ahead and cut it into 2 and get our safety pin. Okay, this is the safety pin I'm using. So I'll go ahead and use it to pass it. So I will use my pin to pin it so that it will not pull off. I'll use pin to pin it too. So this is it. I'll do the same thing to the second side. So this is going to look like. Hope we are seeing it. I will bring our gown and look for the center and notch it. So I will place the center of the sleeve. So I will take it to the sewing machine. I will start splitting it on it this way. Till I get to this side. I will do the same thing to the other sleeve too. When I'm through, I will show you how far we have gone. I'm through with the sewing of the sleeve. I also went ahead to sew the neck. So this is what I was talking about. As you can see, when you want to replace it on it and fold it You place it on it and fold it to the back and sew it with 1/4 inch. Do the same thing to this side. So that's it. So I went ahead to notch it round. So I will take it to the ironing table now and iron it, fold it so that it will be very accurate. So you, when it's like this, you turn it out like this. You can see that it has covered this edge now. Then you fold it this way. If it's too wide, you trim it. Sewing part, this seam will come up. You fold it in like this and fold it back this way. So this is how it's going to look. So I will take it to the ironing table and fold it. When I'm through, I will show you what I've done. If you have watched to this extent, it means you are still here. Please endeavor to subscribe to our channel, like our video, comment, letting us know the area you need assistance or we are not doing well, and share our videos too so that others can benefit. So I've gone to iron it. This is it. I folded it in, then I now folded it this way like this. So I will take it to the machine and sew it, to stitch it like this. So that's it for the neck. Then I will go ahead and sew our button. This is the button I'll be fixing on it. This is how the sleeve is. You can see it. This is how the sleeve is. So these are the sleeves. So this is the pleating I did. So this is it. And this is the full gown. You want it to be 48 inches long. You can see it's on exactly 48 inches. 48 inches. So that is it. Okay, you can see the neck. I'm through biasing it. You see how neat it is because I ironed it before sewing it. Then the button, I've gone ahead to fix it. So this is it. Now we have come to the end of this class. If you found this class helpful, don't forget to subscribe, like this video, and drop a comment below letting us know what techniques you want to learn next or what we are not doing right. Thank you to all our returning subscribers. You are the reason this channel is still functioning. And to our new subscribers, thank you for choosing Negho Akhigs Fashion Academy. Your subscription helps this channel to grow. I appreciate you. I love you. Bye. Till we see in our next class.